Welcome to the Good Brothers Committee podcast.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? This is another episode of the Good Brothers Committee podcast. It's Friday night. I got my main man, my partner in crime, Mr. P. Powell, to the third power, Mr. Preston Powell the third. Good evening, sir.
Man, what's going on, Chad? It's good to be back with the Good Brothers. You know, this month, the LCA cigar is Red Rider from A Christmas Story. If you're not familiar with that famous scene, take a look at that.
No, I want an official Red Rider carbonation 200 jet regimental rifle.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Cool.
Yeah, Red Rider. It's a smooth smoke. I like it. You should have one in your locker, Chad. If you
All
didn't
right.
grab it for this month's selection, it's a nice, smooth smoke. I didn't have the card on me. I had it on me for a minute ago. But, you know, if you come by, we still got a few left for the non-Provider Club members. But as you know, members of the Provider Club gets the LCA cigar every month, placed in their lockers, as well as some other goodies. I placed another little goodie in y'all locker. I'll let y'all see it when y'all get there.
Okay, then. It's going to be real soon.
Nothing special. Just something a little extra for the fellas. Something a little extra for the Good Brothers. There you go.
I appreciate that.
Something extra for the Good Brothers.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
how was your week, man?
It was pretty good, long. We had testing at work. You know how that goes. Trying to search for Christmas break. I've been searching for a while now.
Right. Coming off the SWAC. So, before we get into today's topic, but, coming off the SWAC loss, what was your thoughts? Jackson State going down to Prairie View. If you're not familiar with the score, it was a close game throughout, but Prairie View did pretty much lead from beginning to end. So, what was your thoughts?
We didn't play well. We didn't play well at all. Prairie View came from Texas, and they came with the right kind of attitude. One team played focused, one team played distracted. That's basically what it was.
You did lose your starting quarterback in the first quarter. Well, that's your second string quarterback. When did he get hurt?
He got hurt.
I think it was the first or second quarter, wasn't it?
He got hurt in the first quarter. He did like two or three series. He got hurt when he ran for that touchdown.
Yeah.
And then he hurt it worse than he did the first time.
Right. So that was your number 2 quarterback, wasn't it?
Who?
That was
Jacoby Morgan?
The one that was hurt the championship game. That was the original number 1.
Oh, that was the reason number 1. Jacoby Morgan, number 15. Yeah. That's been a starter. Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. But he got hurt again, and then he had to ride out, nip and tuck all the way. But, congratulations to Prairie View A&M, SWAC champion 2025. SWAC champion. I saw an article saying how much money Atlanta lost when y'all didn't win.
Is it true?
So hey, look, economics are important. So Chad, we had a week in college football. We didn't cover my man Lane coming the new coach at LSU, but we might tap on that a little later.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not familiar with the Sherrone Moore scandal, take a look at this.
The University of Michigan head football coach went from this to this in one day. Let me tell you what happened. Sherrone Moore has been a part of the University of Michigan football family for a minute. He helped lead them to a national championship, and when head coach Jim Harbaugh left to go coach in the NFL for the Chargers, he took over his spot. So yesterday, the news breaks that Sherrone Moore is fired from being the head coach of Michigan for cause, which means that they don't have to pay him. He signed a 5-year deal with Michigan in 2024 and made over $6 million this year. So that's a big bag he fumbled yesterday. The reason for his firing, he was sleeping with his coworker. And to make matters worse, let me give you the official text. He was having an inappropriate relationship with a Michigan staffer. To make matters even worse, allegedly this staff member was his executive assistant who had a 55% increase in her salary over the course of 1 year. You see here, it's public information. From 2023 to 2024, she was making $58,000 a year. And then in 2024, 2025, this year, she was making $90,000. This man has been married for a decade with 3 children, daughters, mind you, that are all under the age of 10 years old. And his last daughter was born last summer. I turned on ESPN this morning. I'm not saying it's the most reliable source in the world, but I wanted to hear what their lead reporters had to say. And they said that Michigan knew about this months ago. They had HR investigate and they couldn't find any evidence that he was sleeping with a coworker, right? Now some damning evidence came into the fold where they had to fire him. Now this part is alleged. I got this from the internet, but it makes sense to me. Allegedly, he impregnated his executive assistant. And I don't know how true this part is, but allegedly he forced her into an abortion and maybe that's what led him to double her salary. That's all speculation. Now, apparently when he found out that there was a coaches only meeting happening without him, which means he was about to get fired, he had an argument with his wife where he threatened to hurt himself permanently. You're picking up what I'm putting down. I don't want my video to get taken down. Left his house, went to an unnamed staffer's house, wonder who that was, and put a knife to his own throat, and then went to a local church where he was found because his wife gave his location, like I assume his Find My Friends or whatever, to the authorities. People have been going through his Instagram following and he follows a lot of questionable, baddie type of accounts. Accounts that a man who is married with 3 young daughters should not be following. And to make matters worse, the woman that he allegedly cheated on his wife with, his wife is a blonde white woman, is also a blonde white woman that looks a little similar to her, to me. Now Michigan's got a huge problem on their hands because they've got to keep their really good players that are committed to come to Michigan and that are already at Michigan wanting to stay there amidst all this drama. A lot of people think the only way Michigan can save themselves is by stealing Alabama's coach, Kalen DeBoer, who's about to play in the playoffs with Alabama. And on top of that, a lot of people know that Lane Kiffin would have loved to go coach at Alabama, and he's constantly coach hopping, and he abandoned his team while they're going to play in the playoffs to go coach LSU. So, is it possible that Lane Kiffin does the funniest thing ever and abandons the team that he abandoned his last team that's playing in the playoffs currently for, before he ever even coaches a game for them, to take Kalen DeBoer's job because Michigan needs a really big name like Kalen DeBoer to come save their asses because this guy was allegedly sleeping with his assistant, forced her to get an abortion, and now went to jail. And now Michigan looks really bad and they need to hold on to all of their really good recruits and players. What the fuck?
Don't take a look at it.
What was your thoughts, Chad, when you saw it?
Unfortunate repetition of action and behavior.
Right.
Mel Tucker didn't teach y'all nothing.
No, they say
Willie D.
they
Willie said it best now.
Man, so when it first dropped, I was like, fired. I was like, wow. I said, what happened? I said, he had to do so because he went 9-3 this year, so he had to do so. So I didn't see it. So then next thing I get a text from Ray, and Ray said, man, inappropriate relationship. I'm like, oh. I knew what it was right then and there. But then, fast forward, 3-4 hours in the day, he arrested. And the first thing I thought when he was arrested, oh my gosh, he screamed rape. That was the first thing I thought. I didn't read the article, I just saw the headline.
Right.
Then to find out, real story behind, what had happened, he just crashed out.
Big time.
Yeah, you got more.
Big time.
Yeah, if you're interested in that, you look at that. But man, that was wild. You get that secondhand embarrassment when these kind of things happen.
Right.
Sitting there thinking like, come on, bro. The word is, when he went to her house, he was upset because he had to fire her, and then she went to, as you saw in the video, she went to with AD and just spilled the beans.
Yes, she did that, but however, it was the plan B that he ordered to his office for her to take.
Yeah.
And then on top of that was that, okay, cool, I'll do this. I don't want you no more.
Yeah.
And he couldn't leave well enough alone.
He was in love.
I mean, madly in love. And then he broke into her house and said, I will unalive you and me.
Yeah, that's wild. That's great. And you sit there and you think about it, there's no right in it, but they said that their relationship was kind of like known throughout school. They just didn't have any, solid proof of what was going on. They said they were The AD approached him like in the summer, like, "Hey, what's going on here? Is something happening?" He denied it, and she denied it. Then he just said, "Hey, look, we just really close. We work together. And you know how people are; they just throw rumors out there." They did. They said AD threatened to fire him back then.
Yeah, I did hear something like that, and it was very known throughout the student population.
Right. Well, students always. And
Yeah.
let's keep it above. Coaches mess with co-eds is nothing new.
True,
That is happening right now with some of the biggest names you won't think about. That
true,
ain't nothing
true,
new.
true.
It just, you rarely have this kind of crash out though. You know,
Right.
I mean, he lost the $13 million buyout. Well, firing clause. Because he got fired with cause. So that money's gone. And so you left
Endorsement
right.
money gone.
Oh, he'll never be a head coach on that level again.
No, he won't. But it goes back to the choices we make.
Yeah.
And you gotta fire a wife at the crib who's a medical doctor.
And then the girl looks just like his wife. Like
That dude needs a therapist. He
Like
got a
he-
complex. I've heard that before. We always want something that's close to what we got or what we want. Mm-mm.
yeah, well, he got it.
You think all the help? Yeah, you think all the help you need to?
Yeah, he got it. He got it. He got it.
In jail.
Yeah, and that just you went from the coach of one of the top 10 programs in the country, which is a hard job for a brother to get anyway. Just
Yeah. I was telling one of the patrons of the bar, Luther, last night that he would have been one of the most powerful, influential young black professionals in America. And he screwed it up.
without a doubt, no doubt.
Because you know what that reiterates though, Preston? And a lot of us fail at that, and have failed at that at one time. You gotta start using the head that make common sense, not the head that come.
Dang, that's Chad quote of the week.
I mean, it's
Hey, you can lay that
I
one
get
right
it.
beside the honey packs.
Right. You right. And that's what it is, because everything that look good to you
Right.
doesn't mean it's good for you.
Yeah, that is 100% right. I mean, he got, and he had what he went 9-3 this year.
9-3.
Only thing he lost, he did lose to Ohio State, but
He would have had one of the top recruit classes coming in the nation. You talked about probably had one of the top 5 recruiting classes in the nation coming back. You had a lot of personnel coming back. And he threw it all away.
Yeah, I'm wondering if would Bryce Underwood would he transfer now, go back to LSU. But I was saying that money Bryce got was from Dave Barton and Barstool Sports, so he probably ain't going nowhere.
Nah, he probably not.
Yeah, that 10 mil, you ain't going nowhere. And they probably broke it down for him to stay 4 years. And let's be honest, he didn't have no blowout year anyway.
No, he did, but it won't be another black guy.
No, not right now. Jim Harbaugh didn't even want to comment on it.
I'm pretty sure he didn't, because he basically handed Sherrone Moore the job. And come to find out,
and he was successful at it. Let's be real. He was successful.
He was, but the Michigan administration didn't really want him. They wanted somebody else.
See,
Jim Harbaugh, politic for that guy.
So when it first, that goes back to like what I told you when it first happened. Say he was fired with cause, and I was sitting there thinking, like I said, well, maybe that's why they didn't do nothing about the rumored affair, because they were like, okay, when they get to the point we can get rid of, we're gonna get rid of to get what we want. Because that's exactly what it turned out to be. But I still think that at the end of the day, it's just a bonehead move. I mean, well, I don't want to sound crazy. He had to catch like the feelings to just.
He is the football Diddy.
Michigan free calls.
Yeah. That's what he is. When Diddy had Kim, hey y'all, I was watching the Diddy documentary. Shout out to 50 Cent because he did that. But you had Kim Porter, who was your main, who was the white, and you had Cass.
Yeah.
Sherrone Moore.
Yeah.
All the different was hell. He had a girl wearing headsets and a coaching T-shirt.
Hey, you enjoy. I mean, look, man, you do what you gonna do, but god damn, dude, it just and then
And then he's ruined it for a lot of
right.
black coaches who do it the right way.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, like you said, it won't be another black coach at that job. And then, like I said, those jobs are already hard enough in the beginning. And now you talking about you did one that you blew it out like this. I can't see an opportunity come along like that. And that's like I said earlier, you get that secondhand embarrassment when these things happen.
Right.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, this was sun hit me up. Yeah, it's one of those things you always feel a little secondhand embarrassment from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, damn, dude, why this had to happen?
Right.
And his face plastered everywhere. Picture her, picture him. It just everything about it is like, not again.
Duh.
Doesn't go
Again.
through your head. So
Duh.
moving on from there, my man Lane Train at LSU left Ole Miss. What was your thoughts?
Disappointed. I wasn't disappointed
Uh-huh.
in him leaving. It was how he left.
But I mean, I hear people say that, but what else could he have done?
Well, the main thing was now
He
I go back
wanted
to this.
he wanted to stay. He wanted to keep coaching.
No, I agree totally on Miss. No,
Right.
you made your decision. You made an informed business decision. Move on, and you did that. But however, my thing is with Lane, it's about the kids
Yeah.
because now a lot of the stories that have come out now, they have explicit details about what he told them that I'm gonna stay with you. But
Yeah.
again, of course, when that comes up, and again, people are starting to equate this with prime and stuff like that. Again, people gonna do what they have to do. Everybody knows in business coaching, your next move is always your best move.
Right.
I get that, but it was real nasty because
Yeah.
a lot of stuff is coming out now. A lot of stuff. Because I'm gonna tell you one. One of your favorite Tigers said
What's that?
the Honey Badger on the Bayou. Shout out to the on the Bayou podcast. He said, "Yeah, Lane was the number one candidate for the job, but do we really want to deal with somebody who's showing his disloyalty right now?"
I heard him say that. But here's the thing: Keith Carter, the AD from Ole Miss, he knew 8 days ago before Lane left that he was leaving.
Well, maybe he wasn't ready for him to go. I mean,
Well,
I get it.
he thought he might have a chance to convince him to stay. I get all that. I think at the end of the day, if first of all, let's get this out of the way. People are lying to you. So I'm gonna look dead in the camera. People and some of these talking heads are lying to people when they say Ole Miss and LSU are similar. They are not similar.
No, not by a long shot. Come on now.
Ole Miss is having a great season. This was the best season. In fact, this is the first time in the history of the school that they won 11 games.
Right.
Outstanding season, best season they ever had. That's one. You catch lightning in the bottle one time. That's not LSU. LSU, see, Ole Miss is happy to make the playoffs. LSU expect to win championships within 4 or 5 year spans. Ole Miss is happy to go into the playoff in 4 or 5 year spans. Those are two different levels. So you get all these people saying like, well, he could have went to LSU. I mean, he could have stayed at Ole Miss and won a championship. Maybe, but that is a shot in the dark.
True.
Because big boy is still going big boy. And if you just looking at it just from from a physical standpoint, even with all the success Lane has had at Ole Miss, he was still losing to Georgia. He was still losing to Alabama. And he was only beating LSU every 1 out of every 3 times. So you know who has the Jimmy and the Joes,
Yeah.
and you know what is needed to compete with them on a consistent basis. And I always go back to that original statement when LSU job came over, and I think it was Saban that put it out there. He said, you can win games at Ole Miss, you win championships at LSU. So you can stay at Ole Miss and win games and compete and things like that, and probably be one of the greatest coaches to go down in their history. Or if you want to win championships, people who are built to win programs that are built to win championships. That's LSU.
Right.
I mean, you saw
Yeah.
and so if you're not familiar, LSU just signed a landmark deal with Nike. If you're
I
not
saw
familiar
that.
with that, you take a look at this.
I
But
saw
with
that.
that is groundbreaking stuff, NIL right there. I think it's 11 different players they signed specifically across all the
Several
sports.
sports.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, across all the
Mm-hmm.
sports. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's groundbreaking. Then there's a few select out of the 11 that gets an opportunity to have influence on the actual ad program,
Brand.
the influence,
Yeah.
the brand itself. Yeah, so I mean
Mm-hmm.
that is high dollar right there.
Right.
So you can literally be LSU, Lane Kiffin, and go like, hey, look, you come to LSU, you got a back door right there in the Nike for your own, platform. Yeah,
Right.
that is really groundbreaking.
Yeah. Design, creation, everything.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
that's crazy. That's the first deal of its kind. But I imagine now that LSU's done this, Adidas, Under Armour, and who else is that? Is Reebok made that comeback yet? Because I know they've been talking about it forever.
Mm-mm.
You got all these other schools. You're
Mm-mm.
going to see other programs do this, but and Nike chose LSU first, and then I can understand that. The school of champions, all those championships, stuff like
But it's
that.
always been a Nike school.
Yeah, sure. I always been in Nike school, and it's LSU's been on a run too. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, gymnastics national championships, 2 out of the last 3 baseball national championships, tennis team, the football team had a Heisman Trophy win a couple years ago. So it's just the program that's really flourishing right now. And let's keep it a buck. These programs are generate a lot of money because people look.
What LSU just did is the exact reason Lane Kiffin wanted to be there so bad. It was just announced that LSU signed a massive extension with Nike for the next 10 years, and what they're about to do is going to change college sports forever. And by the way, if you want the stories that no one else is talking about, be sure to hit that follow button. So as a part of this 10-year deal, Nike just chose LSU to be the first school ever to be a part of the Blue Ribbon Elite NIL program by Nike. So Nike just signed 10 LSU athletes across all sports to be Team Nike. But this collaboration isn't your regular NIL deal. Ann Miller, the EVP for Global Sports Marketing at Nike, said this is more than just about gear. It's about collaboration, creativity, and meaningful impact, giving these athletes a platform to influence product, innovation, storytelling, and culture. So from my understanding, these athletes are going to have real input in Nike's product development and other creative decisions. Like, that's insane for college athletes. And as a part of this deal, 2 LSU football players signed with Nike, Trades Green and DJ Pickett. From a recruiting standpoint, I'm not sure how one competes with that. Lane Kiffin's going to be on the phone telling recruits, hey man, if you ball out here, you have a direct pipeline to get an NIL deal with Nike. Love it or hate it, this dude is about to build an absolute empire at LSU.
One thing I don't like when people talk NIL, they always talk about what the players get. They never talk about how much money the actual team and the sports actually generate.
Right.
Because the players are getting a fraction of that.
Yeah.
Fraction. And then all of them are not getting.
Right.
So I mean that is just that's one of those things though. So
Right.
But it's landmark deal Nike and LSU.
Yep. Could be very interesting.
So but back to speaking of Lane. So what do you think has to change for what you said earlier about the way he left?
Well,
People talk about the calendar. They need to fit the football calendar to the school calendar.
yeah. I think it was Nick Saban or it was one other coach. I think it might have been Vanderbilt's coach. I don't remember who, but they were saying that there needs to be a window when certain transactions take place. Just like now they're closing the portal before the playoffs. And then they're also talking about if you opt out of some of these games, you can get penalized.
Yeah.
Um,
One thing I did find out,
mhm.
and I didn't know this, so I can't remember what coach brought it up, is that if you make it into the playoff, you're playing second semester starts. So the problem with some of these guys, even when they're in the playoffs, is that if you're going to transfer in the transfer portal, you have to transfer before the second semester starts.
Mm-hmm.
But now the championship game and the playoff, it leaks into that first week of the second semester. So if you have in your mind, hey, I'm moving on, you can't really be in the playoffs.
No. However, I think there's a slew of waivers that can be signed where they can have immediate eligibility. I don't know how that works because
Right.
I know the portal opening now is supposed to be moved into the spring
Right.
and not through these like 25-day window right before the holidays, which is bowl season, and like you said, during around beginning first, I think semester, which is about around the for most states and most schools, you're looking about between the 13th and the 15th.
Yeah, the middle of the month. Most of the time, middle of the month. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they address it, but it needs to be addressed. But like I said before, like I was talking to someone else, when LSU fired Brian Kelly, that firing could have waited towards the end of the year. That means that you had more time to make transitions and prepare for that transition because it again it struck in a chord with a lot of different people, especially the players. And he's gonna probably deplete the roster, but however, he has the power to create a whole new roster without those kids anyway because he got the money and the power to do that.
Yeah, he does. And I'm sure, he took the offensive staff with him, and LSU's keeping Blake as the defensive coordinator. And
But the OC went back.
yeah, the OC went back. So you're talking about, several of those players several of those players gonna end up going to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
You already had a couple of guys that was going to Ole Miss, reevaluating reevaluating their position to follow Lane or to go elsewhere. So yeah,
Right.
those things are going to happen. I think you're going to see some changes in that calendar.
Right.
With that being said, Chad, you got anything else you want to touch on before we get out of here?
Oh man, no, just everybody take care of yourselves. The weather's getting cold outside. Think about the homeless. Think about the less fortunate. If anything you can give, please give to your favorite charity or local shelters.
And don't forget this month's cigar for Cigar of the Week is the Red Rider from LCA. That's the Provider Club cigar of the month. And there's still a few left. Come by Churchill Smoke Shop, grab me one. Decent smoke, really good smoke. Good one to start the holidays. The old scene, kid, you shoot your eye out. From a Christmas story. That's where this comes from. But
That's
good
right.
with that being said, man, Russell Powell, Chad Ford, Good Brothers Committee. Come out and smoke with us at Churchill Smoke Shop. We'll be open all weekend. We have a few college games this weekend. I think Boise State plays tomorrow night. So we'll have that
Mm-hmm.
on screens, and I think some UFC, some NBA basketball, and as always, it's a good time had by all.
That's right. Come see us, y'all.
Good times. But good brothers, we out of here.
Peace.